Welcome home, brave heroes. I'm Ash. This is Ash Quest. Actually, this is Warhammer Quest, and I'm going to need to break up this beautiful dungeon to make room for what we are looking at today. But today, we are going to be unboxing and presenting the contents of an original 1995 Warhammer Quest Warrior Pack, The Witch Hunter. This was released by Games Workshop and Citadel Miniatures back in 1995. I have the original product code here along with the price. This retailed for a meager $14.99 USD. Again, that's in 1995 money. Now, while these warrior packs were for quite a different game than Hero Quest, it always amazes me to see the amount of content that they did come with. These were certainly very impactful buys for your Warhammer Quest game. I have a slow but sure collection of these warrior packs going on right now, with the Witch Hunter here being my second. The very first would be the Chaos Warrior, and I do encourage you to check out that video if you're interested in the unboxing of the Chaos Warrior. But the Witch Hunter is a different breed of hero. Witch hunters are experts at destroying daemons or supernatural foes. They carry holy water, ancient symbols, and powerful potions at all times. They have no fear of battle and often resort to the time-honored traditions of gun and sword. In this pack, you will find everything you need to play a witch hunter in the Warhammer Quest game, including a rulebook, cards, counters, and a specially crafted Witch Hunter Citadel miniature. And we have the lovely painting suggestion right here on the box of what your finished Witch Hunter should look like. I was lucky enough to obtain this rather cost-prohibitive character expansion for a price, but it is worth noting that everything in here is still in its blister, unpunched and unplayed. I guess it is possible that they did play this character by moving the entire blister pack across the tiles of the Warhammer Quest board pieces. But today, we are actually going to do the unthinkable, and we are going to unpunch all of the cardstock and unblister the character himself. So settle in for a bit of unintentional ASMR. Okay, so once again, we've got the Witch Hunter instructions. This is the manual needed to play this character. This text is packed in here, and there is a lot of information, especially pertaining to the advanced and roleplay rules that come with Warhammer Quest that make the game really immersive. Next, we have the miniature catalog that shows you all of the games that they're trying to push and promote onto our young minds at the time: Gorka Morka, Blood Bowl, Epic 40K, as well as different paints. We'll take another look at this here in just a second. But we're about to remove another pristine Warhammer Quest unpunched character from the world and add another punched character. Wonderful. That gives us the much needed faith counters that this character has. We have 6. The character pack, or the warrior pack, comes with 6, although you can get more than 6 as you continue to play this character and advance him. We have the character's token, so you can replace one of the other hero tokens with this one while you're drawing tokens from the bag, or you can add it to the bag if you're playing with more than 4 heroes. Definitely a possibility. We have the character card for the Witch Hunter. He has 2d6 wounds, a movement of 4, a weapon skill of 3, a ballistic skill of 4+, a strength of 3, a toughness of 3. However, his metal gorget this thing around his neck, which is metallic and protects him from vampire bites, gives him +1 toughness. So since he starts with that, we've got the 4 in parenthesis. Another distinction from Hero Quest, I might add. The initiative is 3, and he has 1 attack he can make. He fights with a hefty saber and his trusty pistol. And we have a spot for his faith tokens to go. The Witch Hunter begins the game with 1d6 magical amulets. Roll a dice to see how many you get. If you roll a 1, you may re-roll the dice but must accept the second result. Then roll again to determine what sort each amulet is and make a note of them on your adventure record sheet. Re-roll if you get any duplicate amulets. Each amulet may be used once per adventure. We have the Amulet of Purity, which is extremely powerful. When it's used, you roll a dice for all adjacent monsters, and on a score of 4, 5, or 6, the monster suffers that many wounds with no deductions at all. The Amulet of Healing, the Amulet of Holy Fire, the Amulet of Strength, the Amulet of Fury, and the Amulet of Alcatazar, which is also a pretty powerful one to have. All right. And now, I actually feel pretty bad doing this. I looked for this character on eBay, and Loose, I've been seeing pretty consistent prices, or at least I was around the time of year that I looked and was really invested in trying to find one. I was going to find a figure, and then I was just going to find an opened box with all of the components to put them together, since I wanted it complete. But this was even better, honestly. But Loose, these guys can go for around 80 USD. Or again, like I said, they were. So this, incredibly enough, actually does not have a Prop 65 warning. Oh, you know what? I was wrong about this. I said 1995. This was made 1997. 1997, so 2 years after the base game. I don't want to damage the blister pack any more than that. I'm actually going to take him out right here. Like I said as well, no Prop 65 warnings, no lead warnings in general. That's really refreshing to see. I've got lead warnings on my Heroes of Dungeon Quest expansion from like 1985, so that's a thing. I would say it's because there's nothing super harmful in the metals for this. That said, let's not lick our miniatures or anything of that sort. Pay attention to the details, the amulet around the Witch Hunter's neck, the boots, the laces that are present, the flask of holy water around his waist, tied at the belt, his puritanical hat, his heroic stance. He's ready for battle, he's not afraid. His flowing mane of hair, his gloved hands, his swooping cape, and his sheathed dagger. Incredible, incredible. We also have a couple of scrolls here, and not sure what else we've got there. I'd have to take a really close look. I guess that could be... It's something specific. Oh, I guess it is just a couple of scrolls according to the character art. Here we have some stakes as well. That would be in a sort of bandolier. I don't see the stakes modeled on the character, which is too bad. We also don't have a sheath for that massive sword or for that gun, so that's okay. That's okay. This is a great mini. I'm going to pair him up with one of my plastic Warhammer Quest miniatures. Scale is great. I didn't paint these miniatures. This is how they came to me, by the way, with this copy of the game. Scale is fantastic. Aesthetic matches wonderfully with everybody here. Now we'll look at him up against one of the monsters. One of the awesome Skaven that come with this pack. Yeah, wish I probably have more like undead I could pull from other games, but I'll leave that be for now. This is the Witch Hunter. All right, another look at the catalog. I don't think this one's any different really than the one that comes with the Chaos Warrior. We have adverts for 40k, White Dwarf, a mail order special offer. Wow, for $9.99. I wonder if they'd honor this if I filled it out and mailed it in. We have instructions on how to assemble and paint your Citadel plastic and metal miniatures, tips on filling gaps, gluing components, pinning, and then again, the game of fantasy battles, just regular Warhammer Warhammer Magic, Warhammer Campaign Packs, Warhammer Siege, and then the 4 aforementioned games that were big enough at the time to be included in packs just like this one. I've said before, these character packs contain so much more content than what you might find with the Hero Quest character expansions, and that's to be expected. They're two different games. Warhammer Quest is historically much more complex than Hero Quest. It is a different kind of dungeon crawler. It would require a lot more content, but to be completely honest, they didn't have to have these roleplay rules included. Just a few pages to kind of get you acquainted with the character would have been sufficient, but they went ahead and gave you all of the explanations for all the stuff that you can use and that you can't use, and how to level up your warrior. For example, in the advanced rules, a witch hunter abhors evil sorcerers and gains double gold if he kills an evil magic user. This does not include greater daemons. Witch hunters, like I said, can gain faith tokens. They can also lose faith. And depending on how little your faith is at the end of a particular adventure, it is entirely possible for the witch hunter to just up and leave the party because they want to go seek a new career elsewhere. This really lends itself to the roleplay aspect of Warhammer Quest, but it means there is a huge risk involved for those who are playing and building a witch hunter character. There are restrictions to this character, of course, as well, like there are with any other character. The only hand-to-hand weapons a witch hunter may use are any form of sword or dagger, including magical items. He may not wear armor other than his gorget, again, I don't know how to say that, nor a helmet, but he may carry a shield and wear furs. The only missile weapons a witch hunter may use are powder weapons. He may not use bows or crossbows. He may use any form of gunpowder weapon. I like how they worded that, gunpowder weapon. The witch hunter may use any other magical items that he may find, such as a time freeze ring or cloak of stealth, but he may obviously not use any treasure which is specifically designed for wizards. If you are using the advanced rules of Warhammer Quest, then a witch hunter's amulets now have a number of charges. And I love that there's basically 3 games in one when you play Warhammer Quest. You have your basic dungeon crawling, you have your advanced rules that you'll eventually graduate into, something that us Hero Quest players crave to have officially. And then you have the roleplay rules, which really bring things out. Really makes the game shine, but I think my favorite is probably squarely in the middle with the advanced rules. When you visit settlements, the witch hunter can visit all the shops, the temple, the ale house. You dice roll as an elf, the witch hunter's guild, and the alchemist, and you can't visit any other locations. During uneventful days, there's a chance that the witch hunter is actually engaged in some important business, so roll a dice to see what this might be. We'll actually do that. We'll roll a d6, and we have a 1, of course. Why wouldn't we have a 1? It's Warhammer Quest. That's on brand, perfectly. 1. The populace are fed up with you and your terror tactics, upsetting this peaceful settlement and throw you out of town. That is to be expected. Let's try that again. Oh, yes, like I said, it's Warhammer Quest. One more time. 5. We'll take the 5. If you roll a 4 to 6, you finally track down a notorious evildoer who has been evading you for some time. After an exhausting battle, you emerge victorious. Roll a dice to see who the enemy was, roll again to see what your actions were, and once more to determine the reaction of the town authorities. Here we go. The first dice roll is a 5. I brought down a vampire sucking the blood of innocents. Now, let's roll again to see what I did. A 1. I gathered the people of the settlement together and drove the evil creature out once and for all. And then finally, what did the authorities do about that? I rolled a 2. The authorities ignored the incident, embarrassed that they could not resolve it without your aid. Now, that's pretty run-of-the-mill, cut and dry, sort of flavor text, but there are some things in here that would change your character mechanically. 6 would be, our hero. You are rewarded with 2d6 times 100 gold, an item of dungeon room treasure, and add +1 to your starting faith score permanently. That is a great level up. You'd have to roll a 6 and then whatever number, and then another 6. Kind of a 1 in 36 chance, but still doable. There is training at the Witch Hunters Guild. You can also add charges to your amulets. There is a risk of the amulet becoming ruined, all power drained from it forever in the battle against evil. It will crumble to dust before the witch hunter's gaze. The book here will explain what you can do in between battle levels and covers your stats all the way up to battle level 10. There are items you can gain, such as the silver pistol shot, lock tools, flash powder, a holy book. If you have a holy book, you can inscribe in it any invocations you learn. This means that you can store them up from dungeon to dungeon. There's a potion table that you can roll on if one of these items you get is a potion. There's a potion table that you can roll on. Potion of Undead Bane causes an extra wound per battle level against all undead, may be used by other warriors. Light of Bravery, Daemon Bane, Holy Water, of course. There are artifacts and symbols, such as the Iron Talisman of Kardaz. And there are invocations. All invocations are one use only. At the end of an adventure, any unused invocations are lost, unless written in a holy book. Holy book would be a great way to level up your witch hunters so that you can have multiple incantations and not have to worry about them just becoming lost. The Bane of Vampires and Necromancers, the Scourge of Daemons. These are basically buffs against the natural enemies of the witch hunter. And there are skills. You can roll a 1d6 to gain a skill. There are role-playing guidelines that tell you what kind of character you are playing if you choose to play a witch hunter. Then at the very end of the book, we get a lovely story that is told about the witch hunter. It costs 50,000 gold to get the witch hunter to Lord level, at least from the level 9. Here's our witch hunter battle level table. And that is more or less the witch hunter in a nutshell. I'm really glad to say that this is my second warrior pack for Warhammer Quest. I believe the next one I'm going to go after is the Warrior Priest. Can the Witch Hunter be used in Hero Quest? Can it Hero Quest? Of course it can. That's not even a question that I ask. And there have been many Witch Hunters created over on the Oldian forums. I would not at all be surprised to find a bevy of those. I would 100% play a Chaos Warrior and a Witch Hunter in the same party, and I would try to make sense out of it using in-game roleplay lore. I think that that would be a lot of fun to do. For now, I'll keep him in his protective blister. There you go, Witch Hunter. Back to rest with you before your deadly battle. Brave heroes, I hope you enjoyed this unboxing and presentation of this wonderful classic warrior pack. I have more Warhammer Quest to show you, so I hope you'll check out a few more of my videos and subscribe if I seem to be your cup of tea. And if you are already subscribed, then I thank you so much for supporting the channel. And I especially thank those brave heroes who support the channel by becoming a patron. Their names are coming up now. Until next time, brave heroes, have a great rest of your day, and onward.